All right, hey, what's going on, Arbitrage crew? This is Nick coming at you Thursday morning with a video. This was a question that we had in our Facebook group regarding cash flow, how to get rid of stale inventory, and how to manage those things in the business. So what I went ahead and did was kind of broke down how we do things here, and then I'll give you guys some tips and tricks that we use also that help us do some things. But basically what you've got here is, we've got a system, all right, and then we're gonna have a process, and then we wanna get a result. Okay, so our system consists of things like our bank account, accounting software. I use Bench. You can use QuickBooks. I actually recommend QuickBooks, okay? It's more common, and there's a lot of people that can help you use it. It's easily outsourced, and really all you want to do is connect your credit cards, right? So you have a credit card, right? So you have incoming expenses, right? And it's all just going into QuickBooks to be tracked. So you're just attaching these cards there. Bench basically does the same thing, and then you have to tag some transactions, and they'll ask you some questions. So basically, QuickBooks does the same thing, right? You're still gonna have to do the same thing. So I recommend QuickBooks. And then you're gonna have your bookkeeping, right? So you have your books. And I use Inventory Labs. Seller Legend is another one that's pretty popular. But I like this because you have the buy list, which tracks cost of goods and helps with shipping and listing. So I like Inventory Labs for that. They also have a profit and loss. So this is really good to be able to see, okay? Then the other part you wanna make sure you have is is daily procedures, right? And that's where the process comes in, okay? So, this is the things that are actually happening, all right? So these are the things we utilize, right? These three things. Then you have to manage it. So for the bank account, we use profit first, all right? So profit first, that means when you set up profit first, you look at all of last year's expenses, right? And then you're gonna have separate bank accounts for them. So let's say we have 5 bank accounts, right? We have one for income. You're gonna get paid here. You're gonna have one for profit. Let's say you get paid $10,000. So the system's gonna have you do different target allocations. Let's say that right now you're just doing 1%. So this, you'd put $100 here. Then you're gonna have operating expenses. Things like prep, shipping, other things to operate your business, okay? Let's say you look at last year and you determine it was 20%. So out of this 10,000, you put 2,000 there. Because you know you're gonna have that, on average, you're gonna have that expense, right? Then you would have one for income tax, whatever your tax rate was. Okay, you're gonna take this out of your pay and you're gonna put that in this bank account. Another one I like to do is sales tax. This is just what's collected. So Inventory Labs will pull this report for you. You can see all the sales tax you've collected in any certain amount of time, and that way you can put that money here. So this comes from Inventory Labs. You can put that money here, and you know that you have the money, you owe these states where you're collecting sales tax. I use TaxJar to automate that process, okay? TaxJar is good for that. So this is the process that we use to manage all the money coming in, right? And we're taking out profit first. All right, so we start out with a small number of 1%, and then this money actually gets transferred to another bank account, a high interest bank account, because we don't want to touch this money, right? We're trying to save money for the business, so we put it in here to build interest, which is a result of using this process in this system. Okay, we're prepared for operating expenses because we've looked at last year's number and determined on average we need that much. So no surprises. If Amazon shuts down, temporarily suspends our account, or a payment gets delayed for whatever reason, we're not too worried because we already have the money and we have some profits to back everything else up. Income tax, you're prepared for that. Personally, I'm on payroll. Okay, so our business is on payroll and it's an operating expense. Okay, but you can only do that if you're an LLC taxed as an S Corp. Then sales tax, you're being prepared for sales tax. You can pull that info from Amazon also, but Inventory Labs will get it to you. So that's how we're using this system to work this process, okay? And then your accounting program, Profit First kind of is an accounting system, but you still want to utilize all one of these softwares to capture your expenses on your credit cards and your driving and your fuel and food and travel and all that stuff. Okay, so that's going to help with that. Then the result is now you have a nice looking bank account. So like your bank account would look like this. Income would be pretty low, right? Because you're moving the money around. So you might get a big, large deposit, but let's say that this is, you got $150 in here, okay? Your profit, let's say, we'll use my business as an example here. So our most recent payment for our arbitrage account Okay, so our arbitrage account, let's say, I think the last one was like 63,000. So let's say our target profit percentage is 1%. So we're going to take out $630. Let's say that we've been doing that for 6 months. So now we've got 3,780 in here, right? And this is just profit for the business. This could be anywhere from 1 to 10%, really, maybe even higher in some cases. Operating expense. Do the same thing there. So using the $63,000 example, you'd be pulling like that much money out of a $63,000 payment, but this money's going to be going out, right? You've got expenses, you've got payroll, shipping, prep, boxes, poly bags, all those things, right? So this is also going to be a low number because the money's going to be coming out, right? Income tax. However, you're going to be prepared for that, right? Like I said, we're on payroll, so we don't utilize this for that. But sales tax, we generally have like 300 to 500 in here. So now what you have is you're building profit and you're putting it in a high interest. So you're getting interest on this. You're prepared for your operating expenses. You're prepared for your taxes, and you're prepared for your sales tax. And now you have a system in place that allows you to easily see where all your cash is going. And then the profit first system, quarterly you would be like reviewing things and making adjustments and changing these percentages based on how the business is performing at that time. Okay, so Profit First Method, it's definitely a good book. They even have an e-commerce specific one. All right, so I recommend checking that out. Some tips and tricks that we use here that make things just work well, of course, is having the standard operating procedures, right? And that helps us maintain accuracy. And we have a lot of different procedures, right? Number 2, one thing I like to do is add the last 4 digits of a credit card used to purchase in my SKU. So say I make a purchase from Marshall's with my credit card ending in 6792. That SKU is going to look something like this: 6792 Marshalls 01/2020. It's going to look something like that. And then I'm going to look at my order reports. Sort by SKU. And then I can see the cost of goods for what's sold. So now I know exactly how much money I've received to pay off a card that I purchased products with. So that helps a lot also. And then regarding stale inventory, number 3, a liquidation strategy. So for your repricer, a liquidation strategy for your repricer, it needs to be aggressive and manual min, because there's a chance you might have to sell product at a loss, right? So you have to set a manual min. One way that I do that is I see all my items that are over 90 days. Then I see out of those items that are over 90 days old, I go and look at the price of the competition. So on all those items, now I have a list, I have two lists. I have all the items of 90 days old or older on, and then I have a list of where the competition is priced at on those listings. I create a VLOOKUP formula to grab those listings, to grab the price of those listings, right? So now all those items that are over 90 days old, I've grabbed the price that I want to list those at, and I import that sheet to the repricer, and that allows me to quickly go ahead and drop that price to a price that's even potentially negative in profit, so I can quickly sell that inventory. And that process prevents me from having to go in there and do it one by one in a spreadsheet or even in the repricing program. So that's a little trick that will help you quickly set that price to bring your repricer down to sell. So have procedures in place to help maintain accuracy. Last four digits of your credit card used to purchase an item in your SKU, and then you can see those order reports and sort by SKU to see your cost of goods. And then having that liquidation strategy in your repricer so you can quickly get rid of items. All right, so that's how we do cash flow here. I hope that helps. If you found any value or liked anything we said here, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that like button, share this video if you think it can help anyone else out. And if you have any other questions, let me know and we'll get an answer for you. Thank you.